Council agenda, Township of Parsippany Troy Hills, Township Council agenda meeting of July 7th, 2020. Introduction, posting of notice. Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided in accordance with the requirements of the Open Public Meetings Law by filing a notice in the office of the Township Clerk and by posting the meeting notice on the bulletin board at the Municipal Building on December 18th, 2019, where it has remained posted since that date. A legal notice appeared in the Daily Record and the New York Star Ledger on December 23rd, 2019, and was forwarded by fax to other local newspapers and local radio stations on December 18th, 2019. Note, council meetings are videotaped and aired on Cablevision Public Access Channel 21 at 11 a.m. on Sundays and are also available for viewing at www.parsippany.net. I'll ask everyone now to please stand for the flag salute. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we're going to go into the roll call. Mr. Carriffy?
Here.
Ms. Grignani?
Here.
Ms. McCarthy? Ms. McCarthy?
Here.
Ms. Peterson? Ms. Peterson?
Sorry, here.
Mr. DePiero? Mr. DePiero? Mr. DePiero, you're on mute. If you can unmute yourself.
Okay, you're on. Good, you're good.
Mr. DePiero, okay, you're there. Okay, also in attendance are Mayor Michael Soriano, Business Administrator Keith Kazmark, CFO Ann Cucci, Township Attorney Diane Hickey, Township Clerk Colette Madden. Council President, we have a quorum. May I begin?
Please.
Okay. Upcoming meetings, July 21st, 2020 at 7 p.m. That's the regular meeting. August 4th, 2020 at 7 p.m. is the agenda meeting. Approval of minutes, agenda meeting for June 9th, 2020. At this time, we're going to go into the presentations. Mayor?
Thank you, Township Clerk. Hoping everyone out there had a relatively good July 4th weekend, considering the situation that we're all in this country. The township did not have our usual fireworks display, which was saddening, not just for me, but for many people. But what we did do, by the way, panelists who aren't speaking, put yourselves on mute. You're getting backfeed. We had a street naming this weekend to Sergeant Derek McConnell. And let me just give you some facts on Sergeant Derek McConnell. He's a sergeant in the United States Army. He was wounded in Afghanistan on July of 2011 while patrolling the Zahari district in Kandahar. He was brought in to secure an area where members of his platoon had been wounded by an explosive device. Derek volunteered to lead his fellow soldiers and found himself in a small minefield. He lost his left leg and his right leg from the knee, among numerous other injuries. Derek passed due to complications of his wounds on March 18th, 2013. Now, in honor of his sacrifice, the United States military presented Derek with the Army Commendation with Valor. Now, this weekend we renamed Adelphia Road, the street where he lived on in Lake Parsippany, in honor of Sergeant Derek McConnell. His family was present. Fire District 6 that he was a volunteer with, that he worked with, they were there as well. I want to thank the Parsippany Troy Hills Police Department, the Parks and Forestry, and especially the Department of Public Works, who worked with us and got the sign up and helped with the reveal and everything necessary. As a result of this event, Sergeant McConnell's mother, Siobhan Fulner McConnell, and Council President Michael DiPiero and I are forming an ad hoc committee right now to explore how we're going to do other street namings for other fallen men and women in uniform in Parsippany that have given the ultimate sacrifice. So I want to thank Councilman DiPiero and publicly Siobhan Fulner so much for doing this with me and giving this service, additional service to the township. Last thing I have is today is the birthday of our departed and beloved mayor, Marcielle Mimi Letts. Everyone just called her Mayor Letts or Mimi. She passed away last year. We're at the end of the summer, we'll be coming up on about a year. And I'd like to read this proclamation that and what we're going to do in the township. We were going to have a dedication ceremony for the bandstand in Veterans Park, because it's really a gazebo. Because if Mimi puts it up, it's a gazebo. Anyone who knows her knows that. And but the family asked that it be postponed. They have difficulties getting everyone there. So obviously with what's going on. So whereas the Township of Parsippany Troy Hills honors the late Marcielle Mimi Letts as an extraordinary example of a woman who dedicated her life to public service in her township, state, and country. And whereas we recognize her extensive involvement within the community since her arrival to Parsippany in 1967. And whereas we recognize her extensive involvement within the community since her arrival to Parsippany. She has been a member of the Township Planning Board, serving on the Zoning Board of Adjustment, and was a member of the Parsippany Historical Society and the Kiwanis Club, as well as the New Jersey Highlands Council. And whereas the residents of Parsippany Troy Hills elected Marcielle Mimi Letts as mayor in 1994 and re-elected her in 97 and 2001. Whereas Mimi Letts was inducted into the New Jersey Mayor's Hall of Fame as part of the class of 2004. And whereas Mimi Letts served as mayor with dedication, integrity, and pride. And now, therefore, I, Michael Soriano, Mayor of the Township of Parsippany Troy Hills, do hereby dedicate the gazebo at Veterans Memorial Park in her honor and present this proclamation on behalf of the residents of Parsippany Troy Hills as a token of respect and admiration for Mayor Marcielle Mimi Letts, and urge the residents of our community to follow her example of service and accomplishment. Dated this 7th of July, 2020. So I'm hoping when we do this that we can not restrict ourselves to, well, first it was 50 people, then 250 people, and then it would have been 500 by now, but that more people can show up to honor our hometown hero, Mayor Letts. So, Mr. Council President, Clerk Maiden, that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Next, we have the Township Attorney reports.
Nothing at this time, sir.
Thank you. Next is our Business Administrator, Keith Kasmark. Anything for us, Keith?
Thank you, Mr. Madden. In the interest of time, because I do understand that you're simultaneously running a primary election this evening, and that the primary was not originally scheduled for tonight, but the council elected to keep the meeting and have you walk and chew gum at the same time, I have no report tonight. Other than just remind the council that we are having a meet and greet with the recommended candidate for the Chief Financial Officer position at Thursday at 4:30, and the clerk has duly advertised that meeting. Thank you, Mr. Madden.
Thank you, Mr. Kasmark. Appreciate that. Next is the Township Clerk. I have no report for everyone. Next is the Township Offices and Committees. Township Council?
Nothing at this time.
Okay. Anyone else, or we're okay? Moving on. Engineering report. We have nothing at this time. Bids taken July 15th, 2020, Veterans Park culvert replacement. To be taken July 22nd, 2020, well drilling installation services, replacement production well 21-R. July 24th, 2020, lease on public property. C, quotations, proposal, qualifications, none. Before I go into the public portion, I just want to remind the public, you will have 5 minutes to speak. If you have any questions for the council, you may ask the questions. The council will wait upon you upon when you're done, and then they will answer your questions. It will not be a back and forth dialogue. And also for the public portion, the raise hand button is at the bottom of the participant window. So when you raise your hand, I will see you, and then we will allow you to go ahead and speak. All right, so at this time, I will go ahead and entertain a motion to open up the public hearing.
Make a motion.
Second, Grignani.
Motion made by Mr. Carriffy, seconded by Ms. Grignani. Roll call. Mr. Carriffy.
Yes.
Ms. Grignani.
Yes, and may you also please mention it's a 5 speaking for the public?
Yes, I did mention that already, and they will get a notification when they have 30 seconds left.
Okay.
And then we have Ms. McCarthy,
Yes.
Ms. Peterson,
Yes.
and Mr. Hero.
Yes,
Okay. At this time, we are waiting for the public. Again, I just want to remind the public that the raise hand button, okay, is at the bottom. So we have Adam McGovern, who's up. And we're trying to.
Oh,
Okay, Adam, can you hear us?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you. To state my name for the record, I'm Adam McGovern. I live at 87 St. John's Avenue in Mount Tabor. And I'd like to comment on a matter that I think is very damaging to our town's reputation and should not be going on in our name. That is the persistence of an acknowledged domestic abuser in a township government position. It's a matter of public record that Khaled Madden, to quote a town paper, was arrested in February of 2020 for allegedly breaking into a woman's Parsippany apartment, pulling her hair, spitting in her face, and throwing her against the floor, walls, and furniture, according to court documents. The woman also told police Madden had choked her until she passed out during a prior argument in July 2019, unquote. It is also public knowledge that the target was his wife, that police seized a handgun and an unlawful magazine from him during the arrest, and that a child was present during the assault. The Daily Record further reported that, quote, the victim had multiple visible injuries when she was interviewed by police in February, according to court documents, including a swollen lip and hip, a swollen and bruised elbow, and multiple scratches and bruises on her neck. She told police Madden broke a door chain to get into her apartment and broke her iPhone, end quote. It's only right that on June 1st, Khaled Madden agreed to a year's probation, as well as a lifetime ban on owning firearms and mandatory counseling. What continues to be troubling is the attitude shown by this council and its president. Council President Michael DiPiero has said that Madden will face no disciplinary action from this case, saying, quote, as far as I'm concerned, that was a marital problem that was worked out between a husband and a wife. And, quote, his performance in the township is good. He has the respect and trust of council members, and as far as I know from everybody, so no action will be taken, unquote. I think that is a prehistoric attitude towards spousal abuse, and that it is not a private matter when my tax dollars are paying someone who has shown no remorse, has only been forced into counseling, and represents the opposite of my values, while the council takes no action to register disapproval. The police and the prosecutors did their job, so I want to know why the council will not take disciplinary action. Thank you.
Anything else, Mr. McGovern?
No, that's everything.
All right, thank you. All right, we're gonna mute. Anyone else with the raised hand? Let's see here, looking at, we're still waiting on anyone else. Okay, we have Miss Isabella Alfano. We'll go ahead and unmute Miss Alfano.
Hi, thank you. I was just wondering if Mayor Soriano would just tell us what is his feelings in regards to the petition that was being circulated against the Columbus statue in front of the building. My understanding that regardless of the petitions, that it would be an administrative decision. Can someone give me some insight as far as what would be the process and what is the communication? I've heard certain members of the council saying on the record their feelings about it, but I have not heard anything from either Ms. Peterson, Ms. McCarthy, and Mayor Soriano. If you could just tell us what your feelings about this are.
Anything else, Ms. Alfano?
No, that's it. Just wanting an answer.
You're very welcome. Okay. Anyone like to address that, or?
I would. We don't know. She's asking what the process is, whether it's the council or the mayor. Well, right now, there are no plans to remove the Columbus statue. Thank you.
Okay, do we have anyone else with, that would like to raise their hand? When we can get them in to speak? Okay, we have, Miss Lily Benvenidas. Lily, are you there? We need to unmute Lily. Lily, are you there?
Hello?
Yes, you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, go ahead. The floor is yours. You have 5 minutes.
Thank you. Good evening, Councilman Major. I'm calling, okay, my name is Lily Benavides. I live in 17 Jefferson Avenue, Lake Hiawatha. I'm calling in support of the petition to, for a cadet Madin to leave his job as a clerk from the township. And I believe that we cannot allow an abuser of any kind to continue with his life without facing any consequences for his actions. And besides, as a resident of the township of Parsippany, Troy Hills, I don't want my taxes to be used to pay a salary for someone that had put another human being's life in danger. And those from government, local government, advocating for Mr. Madin should be ashamed of themselves. This is not about politics or any particular party. This is a matter of life or death. And it's our personal issue as well. Thank you. That's all I have to say.
Nothing else, Lily?
No, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else with a raised hand? Okay, we have a Miss Corey Herbig. Can you hear us? Unmute. We need to unmute Corey.
Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you now.
Thank you very much. I want to echo comments that have already been made by a number of speakers this evening. I think at the very least, Mr. Madden's illegal actions should be investigated by the council. If the council finds credible evidence that he committed the crimes referenced here today, he should be terminated from his employment. Parsippany taxpayers should not be paying the salary of a man who brutally beat his wife in front of their daughter, period. Furthermore, Councilmember DiPiero should be ashamed of himself for the public comments he made. To say that an act of illegal violence by a man against his wife is a, quote, marital problem that was worked out between a husband and a wife, and that he, quote, has the respect and trust of council members is truly repugnant. I cannot help but wonder, if he had been a state lawmaker in 1990 when New Jersey passed the Prevention of Domestic Violence Act, how Councilmember DiPiero would have voted. For a man in a position of power to say that an act of violence against a woman is a matter to be worked out between a husband and wife perpetuates a system of misogyny, violence, and oppression against women that has been in place for far too long. To Mr. DiPiero's comments that Mr. Madden has the respect and trust of all council members is equally troubling. I'm particularly surprised and disturbed by the failure of the women on this council to speak out against both Mr. Madden's actions and Mr. DiPiero's comments. I hope that you will all commit today to investigating these allegations and terminating his employment by the council if the allegations are found to be credible. Thank you.
Anything else, Corey?
No, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay. No one else? Okay, seeing no one else, then I'd like to take a motion to close the public hearing.
Make a motion.
Motion made by Mr. Carriffy. Second?
Second,
Second by
Janice McCarthy.
Ms. McCarthy.
Excuse me, am I on right now or am I muted?
No, you're on.
Okay, I would like to comment on the suggestion that we fire our clerk. I'm going to be a dinosaur also. And I support Mr. Madden. I don't know what happened. I'm reading different articles, whether they are truthful or not. Mr. Madden has my support. Thank you.
For us to close the public portion before I spoke. So let's close the public portion and then I will make my statement.
Okay, so we have a motion from Mr. Carriffy. A motion from Mr. Carriffy, second from Ms. McCarthy. Roll call, Mr. Carriffy,
Yes.
Ms. Grignani,
Yes.
Ms. McCarthy,
Yes.
Ms. Peterson,
Yes.
Mr. DePiero.
Yes.
Okay, public portion is closed.
Through you, Council President, if I may, before any of the council members speak. In the absence of Mr. Lott, although I do know that Ms. Hickey is on the meeting tonight representing Mr. Lott in light of the fact that he lost his mother this past week, I do want to stress to the members of the council that what has been brought up during the course of the public hearing is a personnel matter. The individual being discussed is protected and has not been rice noticed by the municipality in order for his employment to be discussed tonight. So I would caution the council about how they proceed with regard to their remarks. The only thing that I will say on behalf of the administration is that with regard to the situation that has been discussed tonight, the matter was thoroughly reviewed by my office in constant contact with Riker Danzig, specifically Jim Lott, our township attorney, to make a determination as to whether any action needed to be taken by the township in light of the circumstances discussed. And it was concluded by both myself and Mr. Lott that there was no action that would be warranted or able to be taken by the township in light of this set of circumstances. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you, Mr. Chesmark. Now I will just complete what I wanted to say. The feedback that I have received, contrary to the sensationalism, is that this was a domestic squabble between a husband and wife. They are still together. They are working it out. It's their personal business. And I kind of object to Adam McGovern, Lily and Corey and anyone else who signed that petition to try to be judge, jury, and executioner in an issue that they don't have all the information. End of my statement.
I'd also like to say something to those three individuals that spoke. First off, do not believe everything you read in the newspaper. That's first off. I'm sure the three of you have heard of fake news. Just remember, do not believe everything you read in a newspaper. Facts get turned upside down, and you just need to remember that. Thank you.
Can I just also say that throughout the process, I was in close contact with Mr. Chesmark and have been kept up to date and don't see myself as in a position to pass judgment on someone's employment. That is not the role of the council, as I understand it.
I'll also agree with Ms. Peterson's statement. So just so we're all on the record.
Okay, at this point, there is no ordinances for introduction. Under second reading and public hearing, I ask the council to just quickly review those. Okay, under non-consent resolutions, we have none. Consent agenda resolutions, I ask the council to just quickly review those for any questions.
Are we? Yeah. Colette, I can't really see them all. Can you?
I'm sorry, Ms. McCarthy?
I can't see everything on the consent agenda. Should I look at my own copy?
Well, we'll ask them to scroll down.
Yeah, just scroll down and
There you go.
thank you.
Through you, Council President, if I could just clarify item 12 on tonight's agenda for your review under the consent agenda. Additional engineering services with regard to Greenman Peterson. That Keller Kilpatrick, who has long assisted our engineering department with various projects in the township, has been absorbed by Greenman Peterson. So this is so that we can continue the relationship with the professionals that were formerly with Keller Kilpatrick. Just to get clarification on that resolution.
Thank you. I didn't know that.
Okay, moving on to of the. Go ahead. Anybody have a question?
Yeah, on the Clean Communities grant, that's $12,000 on the Clean Communities grant. How do we plan to use those funds?
Can't hear it.
Through you, Council President, I was able to make out what you asked, Janice. The Clean Communities Grant is a grant that comes through the state of New Jersey through the Department of Environmental Protection. We use that for various cleanup initiatives around the township, and we also hire seasonal help down at DPW in order to keep the town clean, especially during the late spring, summer, and early fall season.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, moving on to the approval of payroll and bills list. CFO Nkuchi recommends authorization for payment, authorizing payment of the 7/10/2020 regular miscellaneous payroll estimated at $1,600,000 each. Payment of bills from voucher list of July 15th, 2020 through July 17th, estimated totaling $1,714,161.93. Motion to approve the authorization for payment above.
Make a motion.
Second.
Second.
A motion made by Mr. Carriffy, seconded by Ms. McCarthy. Roll call. Mr. Carriffy?
Yes.
Ms. Grignani? Ms. Grignani, you there? I just need to unmute.
Yes.
Ms. McCarthy?
Yes.
Ms. Peterson?
Yes.
Mr. DePiero?
Yes.
Okay, motion passes. At this time, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Make a motion.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Carriffy, seconded by Ms. Grignani. Roll call. Mr. Carriffy?
Yes.
Ms. Grignani?
Yes.
Ms. McCarthy?
Yes.
Ms. Peterson?
Yes.
And Mr. DePiero?
Yes. Now, we're going to use this same WebEx Thursday evening? Okay. You have to send us a new invitation to join, or can we use the existing one?
No, you'll get a new invitation.
A new one every time we have a meeting?
Yes, you get an email.
Okay.
Can I ask you a question? Don't you have to download that every time? I had to download that again tonight. Is that the case?
It shouldn't be the case, but we can talk offline about that.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good evening.
Have a good night, everyone.
Night, everyone.
Bye.